You can't see where you're going. But here it seems like the rain comes and then it just sits.
That's true, because LA County gets such intense rainfall that it overwhelms the storm drain systems momentarily. It will clear as the system has time to move the water through the system, but on the roadways, it does pool. Keep in mind that all of our local roads are built to be part of the flood control system, so that there will be extra water on the sides of the roads. The water will be deeper there, so recommend against driving in the curb lane where the pooled water will be deeper.
Very quickly, there was sort of a part two to my question as well, and that is, not only how are we doing now, but it's going to continue raining. So are we going to be able to keep up with it over the next week or so?
I expect that the water from this rainstorm will dissipate and further into the flood control system by noon today, and will be recovered in plenty of time for the next wave of storm that's expected Sunday night into Monday.
How is our giant robot trash collector doing out near the ocean? 007, I think you've named him?
Yes, Interceptor 007 is a trash interceptor pilot project at the mouth of Ballona Creek, and it's been performing very well. It's captured more than 36 tons of trash just this season alone. Keep in mind that the trash boom at Lincoln Boulevard, that was our previous last line of defense, captured 30 tons of trash during the entire season last year. So, and that trash boom's still in place. So the interceptor at the mouth of the creek.
Hey, Steve Fraser, LA Public Works. Thanks. 7:51. Let's check your money now. Amazon cutting some jobs. More of them. Steve Potusk.
Oh, that's right, Mike. Yeah, 18,000 jobs, in fact. Citing uncertainties and difficulties in the economy, the CEO says the cuts are concentrated in the company's corporate ranks, mostly retail. I'm Bloomberg Steve Potusk from the California Deluxe Windows Money Desk, KNX News, 97.1 FM.
The people you know.
I'm Mike Simpson.
And I'm Vicki Moore.
The voices you trust.
I like sitting down with a cup of coffee and digging into the news and finding out why things happen and how they impact us.
All that matters to you.
The things that are important to me, I think are important to you.
LA's Morning News.
Weekdays on KNX News, 97.1 FM.
So I was saying earlier, the podcast this week is on resolutions, how to form a good habit, how to actually keep it.
Visit eaton.com/audio today.
Scratchers, we didn't win the big jackpot the other night.
We were doing it wrong.
I think we're going to give it another go at Friday night, right? But 4 people in Southern California found out that you can win big with a lotto scratcher. The California Lottery says one ticket recently scratched won $20 million. It was sold at a CN Liquor in Norco.
Like Tom Busby says, who knew?
Who knew?
Who knew? Buy a scratcher. 7:55. Let's get traffic. Here's Jennifer York.
Okay, so we've got flooding on the 710 north and southbound. It looks to me, and if you want to give me a call, I'd appreciate it. I thought I'd heard them say, because I knew that 3 right were blocked, but it sounded like they were shutting down all lanes because they have 4 feet of standing water on the South 710 at the 91. The backup there is for miles, as you can imagine, at a Southgate. The North 710 to the East 91, I know that transition road is shut down because that transition road got flooded. And then the northbound 710 has had the 2 right lanes blocked approaching the 91 because of standing water, and that backup is to Del Amo. But it's tough to say about that southbound side because it does look like it's closed. East 91 at Wilmington, we've got a signal for the carpool lane. Badly damaged cars there. People injured. East 91 is backed up to the 110. Let's go to Scott. He's got the Southern California Toyota Dealers Jam Cam.
Well, we asked for somebody to call the tip line, tell us what was up here with the 134 westbound going on to the 101 westbound, and we got somebody to call us, and he said there was a big rig car carrier there that's kind of off to the shoulder, but CHP's there and it's kind of distracting you, so you got to back up there starting right around Hollywood Way. He said it gets a lot better once you get west of there. We do have a wreck northbound 5 San Fernando Mission that's been blocking a couple lanes. That's going to be tough right off the 118. And North 14 San Canyon injury crash just reported there in the right lane.
10 West Indian Hill. We've got the 2 left lanes blocked, and the backup is coming out of Ontario. The eastbound 10 is completely shut down. East 10 at the 57. You've got a backup there for a couple of miles. Take the East 60 or the East 210. Next traffic report, 8:05 from the Puente Hills Hyundai 24-hour traffic center.
Still more rain to come. So we get through this round through this morning. Maybe by 9 o'clock more of it starts to taper. And then thunderstorm activity to come after that. Drying out once we get into tomorrow. But then more for the weekend. 7:57.
Moments like hearing my cat purr good morning mean a lot to me.
Call Jacob.
KNX AM/FM and HD Los Angeles.
And always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is KNX News 97.1 FM.
All that matters to you in Southern California.
Coming up, hours of rain has been soaking Southern California. Chaos out there on the roads and the freeways.
High surf causing some flooding and problems along the coast.
Watching the burn areas for any slides.
And we do have team coverage this morning with our Craig Figner. He's out in Duarte, and John Baird in Seal Beach.
It's LA's Morning News on KNX News, 8 o'clock.
This is CBS News on the Hour.
This is LA's Morning News.
On KNX News 97.1 FM.
The people you know.
The voices you trust.
8:03, I'm Mike Simpson.
And I'm Vicki Moore. So we've had a lot of rain, and we're going to get some more. How long is it going to last? Let's check in with our Weather Channel meteorologist, Scott Larimore. Hey, Scott.
Hey, thank you, Vicki. Well, we're watching the cold front pull in from the west. I think it clears us by about 3 o'clock this afternoon. So we cannot sound the all clear, but kind of optimistic about what we've seen so far. That said, there are some pockets of big weather around, and I want to draw your attention to what's going on right now on radar. Simi Valley covered up with heavy rainfall from just south of Fillmore down to Thousand Oaks and moving through the Malibu Hills here over the next hour and a half. That's where the heaviest rainfall is going to be falling. But widespread 2-inch plus total seems to be rare and up the coast to our north. We've been inch to 2 inches here over the last 6 hours. That's encouraging. And rainfall rates have been encouraging here too. So far, like what we see. Can't sound the all clear yet. We don't clear the front until 3 o'clock this afternoon, Mike, but flood watch continues into the mid-afternoon.
All right, thanks, Scott. Duarte has been hit with steady rain for several hours. They took a lot of measures to prep for this storm. Live there now, and our Craig Figner.
And, Mike, people here in Duarte certainly have to be optimistic, or at least feeling that, about this storm right now because of what hasn't happened as a result of the storm. There haven't been any mudslides here, hasn't been any significant flooding. They did prepare for just that. K-Rail lines Mel Canyon Road, the houses in this neighborhood, the street in front of the houses, lined with K-Rail. In the event there were mudslides, the K-Rail would keep the mud and debris flow in the street, using the street as a channel to whisk it away to wherever it would end up, but keep it away from people's homes and away from causing damage to property. This storm prep, very important going forward. It will remain in place. The hillside that is behind this neighborhood that's of significant concern here, it's saturated, and so storms in the next week or so, they'll play a role in this hillside being a continued threat, a continued mudslide threat. Mike and Vicki.
All right, thanks, Craig. We're going to check on Orange County coming up. Got our John Baird standing by at the coast where they've seen some issues. There have been trees down and flooded intersections. I mean, it's a mess out there.
Let's check on Jen. How are you doing 3 hours in?
Let's talk about that tree down. I got a call from Limo Music Man, one of our great tipsters. He said Sunset is closed eastbound between Rexford and Hillcrest because of a huge tree at Foothill. But it was only the eastbound side of Sunset. 405 South Manchester, this is a new crash. The right lane is blocked. Car facing the wrong way, flipped over a couple of times. Also, South 605 at Rosecrans, car hit the guardrail, flipped over a couple of times, landed on the right shoulder, but you might see the fire department there, South 605 at Rosecrans. Let's get out to the 10, eastbound at 10, unfortunately, completely shut down. This is a deadly crash at the 57. It's rare when they shut down an entire freeway for this long, but they have done so. Looks like it might, actually, now that I've refreshed my screen, it looks like it might be in the clearing stages, but they've had it shut down. The backup is all the way to Grand. If you're on that 10 East, let me know if you're actually moving, because it's been, like I said, it's been closed for about 3 or 4 hours. Westbound side of the 10 in the Montclair area, we've had a crash. The backup is out of Ontario. I got a call, love this, from Lance from LA County Public Works, and he said they cleared up the rock slide on Malibu Canyon. So thank you very much, Lance. Let's go to Scott. He's got the Southern California Toyota Dealers Jam Cam.
Okay, we just had a call from a tipster, 210 westbound, Arroyo Windsor, leaving Pasadena. There's an injury crash or a crash in the 2 right lanes. I think a car might have rolled or something. But regardless, it's backed up starting around Lincoln. We had a wreck 210 eastbound around the 2 that cleared, but that's still heavy out of the Verdugo Pass. North 5 San Fernando Mission, still working a crash there. That's slow from the 118 with a new wreck North 5 around the 118 reported. 118 east at the 405, there's a crash reported. Actually, that might be at the 5. And then North 14 San Canyon crash in lanes there. That's already heavy from Via Princesa.
We've got 4 feet of water on the 710 freeway at the 91. To me, it looks like all southbound lanes are shut down I know the 3 right are definitely closed, so maybe you're getting by in the left lane, but the backup is for about 6 miles on that South 710 coming down from the Bell Gardens area, northbound 710 also to the eastbound 91. That transition road is shut down because of flooding as well. Our next report, 8:15 from the Puente Hills Hyundai 24-hour traffic center.
So you heard Scott about another hour of this as this moves through, and then we get the thunderstorm activity to come. So we'll be okay once we get to this evening, this afternoon. Dry for tomorrow, and then more rain for the weekend. 8:07. Let's get out to Seal Beach now and talk about the coast and the big waves. John Baird is there live.
I'm parked here looking toward the ocean right now, although I can't see it because they built a 10-foot sand berm to keep the surf from surging through and going into some homes and apartments along the edge of the beach. There is a little bit of water to my left in front of some of the buildings just south of the pier, but nothing inside the homes. And there's a pump there pulling that water away. But meantime, the surf's up, and is it ever 12 to 16 feet in some places. One man tells me he'll grab his board and be in the water any minute.
Yeah, I love it. The waves here are ridiculously good, and when it's stormy, nobody's out. So
The bigger the better?
The bigger the better.
Surfers don't even blink. They just wade right in. It's pretty amazing. But the worst of this intense weather seems to be over. In fact, one official tells me everything's gone smoothly, no flooding, and as he put it, the storm just kind of skipped right over us, which is great. But Mike and Vicky, the wind is still blasting through here. I could barely open my car door to get out.
All right, thanks, John. The wind and the storm causing problems. We have a new power outage. They're describing it, this is the DWP, describing it as the mid-Wilshire area. Not sure what the boundaries are exactly, but about 2,500 customers without power this morning. Also, a couple hundred in Hollywood, and then just little scattered outages elsewhere in that DWP area. But if you look at their site, it says in terms of restoration, could be anywhere from 8 to 10 hours. So good luck. We're on it for you here.
All right, people preparing the houses, the hillsides. What about the pets? Pete Demetrios' animal specialists have weighed in with some simple tips.
Your pets need some of the same things you do to get through an emergency, according to Madeline Bernstein, president of SPCLA.
Keep your pets with you. Keep them safe. Keep their surroundings safe. Check their enclosures. Check their carriers. Make sure their ID is current, and make sure that you plan for them and include them in any evacuation or disaster planning that you might do for the rest of your family.
Bernstein says keeping your pets from wandering outside is one of the simplest and most effective ways of making sure the four-footed members of your family will be with you after the storms have passed. Pete Demetrio, KNX News, 97.1 FM.
A little more on the president's trip to the border. That's going to be coming up on Sunday. He's going to El Paso, and the Associated Press out this morning saying that the Biden administration will immediately turn away Cubans, Haitians, and Nicaraguans who illegally cross the U.S.-Mexico border. As we get more, we'll pass that on. And, of course, much more on the storm in Southern California here on LA's Morning News.
These days, you never know what you'll wake up to.
So who you wake up with makes a big difference.
Vicky, Mike, and Jen on LA's Morning News.
Let's talk some more about water, but not the rain. What's you need in your house on a non-chaotic, non-stormy day? Yeah, better you in 2023. That means better water.